tampons are given out.
In today's explosive video, we break down the fiery clash on Real Time with Bill Maher, where conservative commentator Dennis Prager and Bill Maher go head-to-head over some of the most hot-button issues of our time. From claims that America is racist and anti-Semitic, to heated debates over gender identity, transgender athletes, and women's sports, nothing is off-limits. Prager calls out what he sees as white lies, while Maher fires back, creating tense, can't-look-away moments. The conversation even spills into U.S. foreign policy and the thorny issue of energy dependence, leaving the audience split and emotions running high. Here's how it all went down.
And the sheep not applauding. Okay, so Dennis, how can you justify saying truth is not a left-wing value when Donald Trump has lied over 13,000 times since taking office? He does lie. You would agree with that?
He does.
Okay.
No, that I would not say. You see,
no.
Wait, first of all...
What about like when he makes a phone call? Like he said he talked to Mitch McConnell, and Mitch McConnell said, we never had a conversation.
Okay.
Has every president lied like that?
So allow me to explain my comment.
Okay.
All right. First of all, Donald Trump is Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not right-wing or conservative. Donald Trump is Donald Trump. Okay. The left wing.
What does that mean?
The left wing. I'll tell you what it means. I'll tell you what it means.
It means nothing.
The left wing is infinitely larger than one person. I don't choose one left wing person who tells a lie. The left wing says, I'll give you gigantic lies, that the United States is a racist country. This is a lie. This is a gargantuan lie. This is the least racist, multicultural, multi-ethnic country in the history of the world. That these people believe it is proof to me about how effective lying can be. This is an unbelievably non-racist country. Have you people been to Asia? Do you people know that the Japanese did not allow one Vietnamese boat person into Japan because they're not Japanese? We allowed them into America.
What is that? We're better than the Japanese.
No, we're better than everyone.
Dumb argument.
We are less racist than any country with many races.
Rejects the notion that America is a racist nation, calling it the least racist multicultural society in history. While acknowledging imperfections, he argues the U.S. stands out globally for its racial tolerance and diversity. To illustrate, he contrasts America's openness with Japan, claiming Japan refused Vietnamese refugees solely because they weren't Japanese, while the U.S. welcomed them. Proof, he says, of America's exceptional acceptance of diverse groups.
It is a lie.
But we could still have some
that have ever been documented.
Of course there's I'm a Jew.
Okay.
There are anti-Semites in America. It is a giant lie that America is anti-Semitic. I taught Jewish history at Brooklyn College. I know it. I wrote 2 books on Judaism. This is the least anti-Semitic country Jews have ever lived in. To say America is anti-Semitic is a lie. To say it is racist is a lie. These are giant left-wing lies.
We're talking about degrees.
To say that men can menstruate is a lie. And that is what is said.
Wait, where did that
You never heard it, right? Okay. Check it out, folks. Check it out. Anyone who says a man cannot menstruate is considered transphobic.
I missed this whole story.
Prager pushes back on claims that America is anti-Semitic, arguing that no country in history has offered Jews more prosperity, freedom, and opportunity than the United States. He credits these freedoms for allowing Jewish communities to thrive in ways unmatched anywhere else. The assertion clearly catches Maher off guard, momentarily throwing him as it challenges the idea of systemic anti-Semitism in America.
Can men menstruate?
Who is saying this? You're talking about a very small percentage.
Oh, really? Then how do you allow men, biological men, to run against women in the races in Connecticut and set all the high school records?
But that's...
they're called men. The Nation magazine said they're women.
Okay, but I would agree with you on that. The way you framed it is nonsense.
I framed it perfectly accurately.
No, you didn't. What is yes, someone who is transgendered, was a man, now claims to be a woman, is a woman, is beating the dog shit out of other women in the race because, of course, they have more muscle mass. And even Martina Navratilova came out and said, this is ridiculous. You might as well not have women's sport. This is a far cry from saying men can menstruate.
I agree.
But that's not where anyone went with that, but you.
Not true.
Okay.
Check it out. UC Berkeley men's rooms have tampon dispensers.
Would you say,
that's
Dennis,
probably because men are pussy whipped and their girlfriend said, go get me a tampon. That's
That's
a much more logical.
Okay.
Okay, all right. Moving on to the next. Dennis, I remember you in the old show. You were a little more reasonable.
What did I say that wasn't unreasonable?
You said that we think that men menstruate and no one does. We never even. Had you heard about it?
I'm a doctor. I missed that one, I confess.
And this is one of the premier reporters. I mean, he knows everything. These people are very. He's a doctor.
Okay.
He's one of the great.
I would make a friendly bet that the LGBTQ normative statement is men can menstruate.
The debate takes a sharper turn when Prager, with a hint of sarcasm, challenges Maher to answer whether men can menstruate, a jab at modern gender identity claims. He argues that such ideas represent the extremes of progressive ideology, while Maher dismisses the question as an exaggeration. Prager pushes back, saying activists often brand dissent as transphobic, stifling honest discussion. The conversation then shifts to transgender athletes in women's sports, which Prager sees as part of a broader slippery slope in progressive policy, citing muscle mass advantages and recent record-breaking performances by transgender competitors in high school events. He frames these as inevitable outcomes of ignoring biological differences in the name of Maher concedes some points about fairness in sports but remains critical of Prager's framing, underscoring the deep ideological
men to compete in women's sports undermines fairness, citing muscle mass advantages and recent record-breaking performances in high school competitions. Prager frames these developments as a predictable outcome of left-wing activism, which he claims has disregarded biological differences in the pursuit of inclusivity. Maher, though seemingly agreeing on some points about sports, remains critical of the way Prager presents the issue, reflecting the deeper divide between their perspectives.
With North America,
what's happening here?
with North America generating most of the oil that's used in the United States, why is the U.S. still in the Middle East? Now, I read this week that we get 16% of our oil from the Middle East countries. That's not much. Only $30 billion do we spend on it. Most of it we get from us. Canada get half. Canada, we get like half, and they have zero warlords. And Mexico. Why are we spending untold billions to protect this area that we're only spending $30 billion on oil for? It makes no sense.
Well, it should be liberating for us. I mean, we started to get involved in the Middle East in 1945 when we wanted oil, when there was oil discovered in Saudi Arabia and Iran. We are now, as of the last 2 years, the world's largest energy producer, not just oil itself, but all kinds of other forms of energy. And it should liberate us from having to be there. What's ironic and silly about what Donald Trump has done is he's taken out 1,000 special operations forces in Syria. By the way, the same guys who got al-Baghdadi. We have 14,000 people in Kuwait. We have 13,000 people in Qatar. Let's bring some of them home. I agree we should have a smaller footprint in the Middle East, and the person who tried to do that was Barack Obama.
Prager and Maher also clash over America's ongoing military presence in the Middle East, noting the irony that U.S. dependence on the region's oil has dropped, yet the military footprint remains. Both question the strategic need for such a presence, with Prager urging a scale back and Maher pointing out the lack of clear direction in both Trump's and Biden's foreign policies. While Trump pulled some special forces from Syria, large troop numbers remain in places like Kuwait and Qatar. Maher highlights the inconsistency in Biden's rapid Afghanistan withdrawal, arguing neither administration has offered a coherent exit strategy. Throughout the discussion, Maher's willingness to challenge progressive orthodoxy in race, gender, and political correctness draws mixed reactions. Some audience members appear uncomfortable or openly disagree, underscoring a cultural shift where even liberal commentators find themselves at odds with evolving progressive norms. The tension is palpable, reflecting a broader divide in today's political discourse.